Hello and thanks for joining me again this week. Here in Montgomery County, we're in the midst of an unrelenting heat wave. The National Weather Service anticipates our area having a heat index of up to 105 degrees over 3 consecutive days this week, prompting a health emergency alert throughout Montgomery County. These are rare and meant to protect everyone from dangerous and potentially deadly heat. Even at night, when temperatures are lower, the heat still poses a health threat with extended exposure. Many of our departments will be responding with temporary policies and procedures to protect people and animals. County facilities, including libraries, swimming pools, recreation centers, and senior centers, are places to cool off during normal operating hours. Ride-on buses will be sources of water and can be used to get out of the heat. Our 2 facilities for the homeless in Silver Spring and Rockville will both be opened around the clock instead of being closed during the day like they normally are. Animal services leaders have given staff and volunteers special instructions to keep animals safe at the adoption center. Pet owners must not leave pets unattended in vehicles or outdoors during a heat emergency, or they could face criminal penalties. Most importantly, we need to look after one another, especially the elderly and those who are living without air conditioning. If you need any information about the county's response to extreme heat, please dial 311 or visit the heat emergency website at montgomerycountymd.gov/heat. You can also report heat-related safety concerns for people or pets to 301-279-8000. I want to be blunt about what we're experiencing this summer. The record-breaking temperatures, wildfire smoke, which isn't done yet, and drought conditions are not mere anomalies. Sadly, this is becoming a global new norm. And unless we take climate change seriously, this will only worsen. There have been more than 12,000 record-high temperatures so far this year. In Phoenix, the heat has produced more than 26 straight days of temperatures above 110 degrees. People have been getting third-degree burns from coming in contact with metal objects or falling onto the pavement. At least 7 people have died. Miami, Florida hit a record 44 days with a heat index above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and water temperatures in the ocean around Florida have exceeded 100 degrees. That's like being in a hot tub. El Paso, Texas set their record of consecutive days with triple-digit heat. The scorching weather is not limited to the United States, it's a global concern. Palermo, Italy recorded its hottest day in city history since records began being kept in 1790, hitting 116.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Deadly wildfires are causing massive evacuations in Greece. China's highest recorded temperature on record happened earlier this month at 126 degrees in Sanbao. Even underwater, our coral reefs in the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico are facing bleaching threats due to rising water temperatures. And in Antarctica, where it's currently winter, the ice continues to quickly recede during a time of year when it usually doesn't. Experts said this is a 5 sigma event, meaning that it's a 1 in 7.5 million year event. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to be one and done with this. And just this week, we learned about the breakdown of the ocean circulation system, referred to as the conveyor belt in the Atlantic, which could simultaneously accelerate the melting of the Greenland ice sheet, create cold conditions in Europe, create drought conditions in parts of West Africa, and raise sea levels along the east coast of the United States beyond the sea level rise already predicted to occur without the breakdown of the circulation system. None of this is normal. But unfortunately, it's going to be. We're going to continue to talk about this, but also to offer pathways that we can all take to lower greenhouse gas emissions. This is truly an emergency, and if we're going to be serious about this, we have to treat it like an emergency. While we alone can't solve climate change, here at the local level, we're taking actions to help. We have a comprehensive climate plan, which you can learn more about at montgomerycountymd.gov/climate. Today, I'll give you one example of a program you may be able to access that can help you and the county reduce our carbon footprint. We're part of a program called the Capital Area Solar Switch Program. It's open to anyone in Montgomery County interested in going solar. Applications are accepted until August 30th. The program's goal is to make it easy as possible for residents to install solar rooftop panels, battery storage, and electric vehicle charging stations for their homes. Upon signing up, homeowners are asked to provide a $150 fully refundable deposit that will either be applied to the installation cost or refunded if there is no installation. So far, more than 415 county residents have enrolled so far. I have solar panels on my own house, and it is worth it. The initial cost is being recovered in energy savings every month, so check it out. Throughout the pandemic, our cartoon character, Abuelina, was enormously helpful in sharing information about COVID prevention and vaccinations. Abuelina garnered Emmy national and international media attention and has received 3 Emmy Awards 3 years in a row. Recognizing the success of this campaign, I asked that we copyright her image and use her for other public safety and educational efforts. Vision Zero's pedestrian safety efforts is a logical use. In the coming weeks, Abuelina will play a crucial role in sharing information with the community on how to stay safe crossing a street, and a lesson in how to safely navigate pedestrian hybrid beacons newly installed in places like Silver Spring and Gaithersburg. This technology gives users the ability to stop traffic and provide extra protection for people who are walking, biking, or rolling across the street. Road safety leaders say that public outreach is crucial to help walkers and drivers safely navigating the crossing. The campaign includes bilingual social media posts and pop-up events at grocery stores over the next 2 weeks in Gaithersburg and Aspen Hill. For more information about all of our Vision Zero efforts, please visit montgomerycountymd.gov Vision Zero. And whether you are walking, biking, or driving, please always be safe and aware of our roadways. One mistake can be deadly. Monday was an historic day in Montgomery County. We celebrated the passage of the rent stabilization bill, and I've signed it into law. It will limit yearly rent increases to inflation plus no more than 3%, up to a total of 6%. It's an important step in providing predictability and stability in housing for renters. Those of us who are homeowners are able to count on a steady mortgage payment. We are lucky not to have to wonder year to year if the cost of our housing will increase drastically or put us at risk of losing our home. Renters don't have that security. Tacoma Park's had rent stabilization for decades, and I saw how meaningful rent stabilization can make a difference in people's lives. It's good for families and it's good for our schools. Children do not have to move because of unaffordable rents, and the parents do not have to stress of sky-high rent increases. We know that reduced student mobility is a positive factor in academic performance. I do want to note that a number of developers have worked hard to defeat the bill and ignore the provisions in the bill that protect property owners and misrepresent this as keeping them from being able to be profitable. A completely false narrative. They're allowed to increase rent every year by inflation, plus 3%, with that cap of 6%. That's a lot. For the last 30 years, rents have stayed in the 3% range, right around inflation consistently. Some landlords go over, most landlords stay within the cap. Most working families do not see that type of increase in their incomes every year. The bill also allows landlords to go above that amount if they can show they have actual costs that are higher than that would be allowed by the 6% increase. This is pretty straightforward. Show your bills, demonstrate your increases are more than 6%, you can get a larger raise. And the bill allows increases for capital expenditures. These are big capital projects that fall outside of regular maintenance, like replacing a roof, replacing boilers, replacing air conditioning systems, having to tear out the plumbing and replace the plumbing systems. It does happen sometimes. But this bill allows them to maintain their prior net operating income percentage, meaning that new rents would be set so they maintain their historic profitability. This is pretty common sense stuff, not very scary if you think about it. No one is being asked to invest without getting a fair return on their investments. They will be able to get a return on their investment and maintain their properties. It's a very reasonable bill that was a compromise. and those that say differently are simply using scare tactics that are not helpful to preserving or extending affordable housing. This bill is a victory for more than renters. It's a triumph for the people, families, and communities and businesses of Montgomery County. Many businesses rely on lower wage workers. Driving these people out of the county will damage the ability of many businesses to attract and retain their workforce. As important as this bill was, alone it is not enough to address affordable housing issues. And we are committed to continuing to work on other initiatives, other investments, and policies to produce, preserve, and protect affordable housing. Last weekend, I participated in our annual farm tour and harvest sale. I'd like to thank the farms, wineries, and breweries in Montgomery County that participated this year. I was able to visit one winery, one cidery, and 2 farms. And now with our grape crush facility at Crossvines, I'm looking forward to even more fabulous wines. And all of this should add to our growing agro-tourism. Looking ahead, we have another significant event on the horizon, the Montgomery County Agricultural Fair. This event not only raises funds, but also brings much needed attention and awareness to the needs and concerns of our farmers. This is another important event that raises money, attention, and awareness. You can start planning your trip to the fair right now at mcagfair.com. You can also plan your own trip into the Ag Reserve through the Visit Montgomery Adventure Planner app. A few weeks ago, as we celebrate our nation's birthday, I praised the role of unions in helping workers win key victories, which truly paved the way for an independence in our nation. This week, I applaud the UPS workforce and the Teamsters Union for successfully negotiating an agreement that gives them the pay and benefits as well as the protections they deserve. Drivers deliver goods in unair-conditioned trucks in the summer, sweltering working conditions that UPS initially refused to address. They were not going to air condition these vehicles. These workers are critical to the nation's economy during the pandemic. They risked their own as well as their families' health during a time when UPS profits increased 140%. They deserved more, demanded more, and they got more, and I'm glad they won. I've long supported the unionized workforce and decent wages. This week, I took lunch orders at Solitaire Restaurant in Bethesda to show my support of the nationwide One Fair Wage initiative, which would eliminate the tip minimum wage. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge my support for the actions taken this summer by the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, who create movies, TV, and streaming entertainment that we all love. I hope their strike ends soon. But most of all, I hope it's successful in getting corporations to understand that their greatest asset is the people producing the work that they profit from. Finally, I want to share a powerful and thought-provoking question that was raised during a recent public safety and youth engagement forum in Wheaton. A concerned woman in the audience simply asked a question: how do I identify what fentanyl looks like? And how do I know if my child's using this drug? This question is crucial and reminds us that amid all our discussions about fentanyl prevention, we haven't said enough about how do you address this concern and how do you increase parents' awareness. First and foremost, we've observed that a significant amount of fentanyl is being confiscated in tin foil, as many individuals use it to smoke the drug. This has even led certain communities across the country to have retailers lock up their foil due to increased theft for fentanyl usage. What you're looking for is a small package, probably an inch wide, maybe a couple of inches long, that's folded over and would open up inside. And certainly if you see a residue of a white powder in there, you should be very concerned. In addition to recognizing what fentanyl may look like, parents need to be aware of the signs and changes they may witness in their children who might be using this dangerous drug. Allow me to share some key physical, psychological, and behavioral signs that parents should be aware of. Physical signs and symptoms include a change in appetite, eating more or less than usual, bloodshot eyes or unusually large or small pupils, a runny nose that can't be attributed to allergies or a cold, impaired condition or slurred speech, unusual sleep patterns, sleeping at odd hours, drastic changes in social circles, mixing with different groups or changing friends, losing interest in previously enjoyed activities, extreme fatigue and sadness, neglecting personal hygiene, like bathing, changing clothes, or brushing teeth. Psychological signs and symptoms to watch for are increased anxiety levels, a sense of euphoria or heightened energy, irritability that seems out of the ordinary. And behavioral signs include mood swings and drastic shifts in emotions, paranoia or displaying suspicious behavior, missing important appointments or neglecting responsibilities at work, at school, or at home, exhibiting secret behaviors, giving up hobbies, sports, and social interactions, facing financial difficulties or unexplained spending. In times of need, it's crucial for everyone to remember and promote our county's Crisis Center phone number at 240-777-4000. This number serves as a lifeline for those who need help or are concerned about someone else who might need assistance. To ensure that parents are well informed, I've tasked our HHS teams with improving our communication about these signs and other critical information related to fentanyl awareness. I encourage you to know the risks of fentanyl and opioids by visiting montgomerycountymd.gov/opioids. No parent, no resident should ever be left in the dark about what to look for when it comes to fentanyl use. Together we can combat this threat, protect our loved ones, and work towards a safer and healthier Montgomery County. Our community health team is staying on top of the fentanyl issue as well as the continued threat from COVID-19. So that's a wrap for today. I hope you have a great week, and I'll be back again next week.